everybody, and welcome back for today's video of DIY investing. For today's update, I thought it would be very important to kind of show you guys my perspective with how I'm viewing the altcoins, as well as how I'm looking at the dominance throughout the Bitcoin market cap. I think that it's really important that we talk about these things because we're at a very important point inside of Bitcoin's market where, since this correction that we've had here, we're kind of at that point where it looks as if we could have the potential for a longer picture correction, a little bit bigger than anything that we've had thus far in the cycle. I think that this could be our big picture correction. And so with this correction taking place, there's a couple perspectives that I'm going to be watching out for when it comes to analyzing the markets and incorporating my overall trading plan as follows. Today we're going to be diving in and taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance, taking a look at the altcoin market cap, and then taking a look at a few altcoins that are painting different stories, but I wanted to kind of talk about because they can all kind of tell the story as to what could potentially happen with the scenarios that are at play with Bitcoin's market. And so for the start of this video, let's dive in and take a look at the 4-hour time frame with Bitcoin, just so I can show you guys kind of what's happened since the last update. Now, last update we were up here, and I was watching to see if support was going to hold here at about 10,900. Support fell, and we came all the way back down to about 9,500. And from that point, we are getting a little bit more of a buyback. If we drop it to a daily time frame, it's going to look a little bit bigger. We did see that this dip was bought up, and so I am expecting a short-term bounce. Now, where exactly that bounce is going to take us, I think that it'll take us to at least this 10,900 level. Now, if we can't break out of 10,900 or this resistance level that we have here, then I would expect this to have one more leg down in the cycle. But if we could maintain support and break out of 10,800 to 10,900, then that's going to look a lot more bullish. But until then, we're just going to have to watch and see. On the short term, we have, oh, I already have it drawn. On the short term, we have this resistance that we continue to hit. We're going to watch and see what price is going to give us over the next couple days to follow, whether we can break out of 10,900 or not. That's going to be our most important level that I'm going to be watching for right now. But until then, guys, really there's no reason to think that this is going to break out of this descending resistance. Until we start to make higher highs, there's really no reason to think that this is going to break out of this descending resistance. And so we're going to have to watch and see what the market gives us. But as of right now, my bias stands bearish. So as you guys know, my next target is 83.50, and so I will look for that one to be filled next if we can't make any significant breakouts on the upside. So this is Bitcoin. This is what I'm going to be watching out for there. Now let's next dive into the Bitcoin dominance, because this is a very important chart. If you guys are somebody that holds altcoins or is looking to accumulate altcoins, this is going to be a very important chart to be watching out for. Because really alt season doesn't start unless we have a drop in dominance. Every time we have a sell-off here, we have alt season, and this has happened a number of different times, and in fact we're getting close to that point once again. Now, what I want to see with this current dominance is really just the fact that we are at a major resistance level right here. And then I would say the next zone would have been right here. If we can break out of about 70% dominance and hold support there, then realistically my next target's going to be about 75. And that will, if we do start to see prices break out and test upwards of 75, even 70% dominance, you're going to expect to see altcoins to continue to drop. But we are at this really important resistance zone right now, and so if we start to correct from here, you can expect to find the altcoins are going to get a lot of momentum in their market caps, whereas if we continue to just kind of go higher like we have thus far, then you can expect the altcoins to fall again. Now, what I'm watching out for based off of Fibonacci is if we go from the high down to the low of the move, we're going to see that the 786 takes us perfectly to about 76% dominance, and then the 88.3 would have us up here at about 81%. Now, I don't necessarily think we're going to crack that 80% barrier, but it is very possible, and it's just something that you guys should be watching out for. If we do start to continue to go up, continue to make an impulse in this Bitcoin dominance, then I think that realistically, if we can break out of about 70% dominance, my next target's going to be about 75, 76, right around there. But we're going to have to really just watch and see what the market's going to give us. Overall, this is looking very, very parabolic, like it's unsustainable. I wouldn't expect that this impulse to continue much longer from where we're at. It seems like it could be very close to dying out here, especially as we're coming close to this resistance level. But really, what we're going to have to see is if we do start to retrace from these levels, I'm going to want to see it happen relatively quickly. I want to see us drop back down very fast. Whereas if we kind of sit down here, consolidate a little bit, and then go back up again, that's going to look a lot more bearish for the altcoins because it's going to show a lot more strength inside of Bitcoin's market. Whereas you could, if we hold support here at this level at about 70 cents, 67 to 70 cents, right around this zone, if we can hold support here and continue to go up, then I think it's likely we're going to hit this 75 to 80% altcoin dominance, or Bitcoin dominance, I should say. So this is what I'm going to be watching out for with the dominance. Now, the dominance now takes us to the altcoin market cap, because this is a very important point that I wanted to make. Now, as far as the altcoins go, really all we did with this move was a bearish retest. And so from here, there's really no reason to think that we're going to be bullish until we can start to hold support and make higher highs from these lows that we saw here in December. And so what I'm seeing right now is the fact we had a bearish retest of about 137 billion, and we're selling off from that. Now, my next strongest support level, this is really my last support level that I have. If we start to fail this support level at about 70 billion, then I'm going to think that altcoins are a lot more bearish. But I think that it's likely we're going to hold support on this level. I know that altcoins look to be setting up across the board, and really if they don't hold this level that we're seeing right here, if they don't make a higher high from these lows in December, from the highs in June, then we're going to see another lower low inside of the altcoins. And really, if we do that, there's really not a lot of support. Maybe our last support would be here at about 30 billion. But other than that, if we break that support, I don't see us stopping until back down in here. Very low market cap for the alts if that is the case. But I do expect us to hold support here. This is going to be my support zone at about 70 billion. And that's really going to be what I'm watching out for with the altcoins. I would expect the dominance to continue to go up until we hit this support level or close to. That's really the way that it works generally with altcoins. And so that's what I'm going to be watching out for. Now, this takes us to the third part of our video. And this is where I'm going to be going over just a couple different altcoins and showing you guys the market structure between them and showing you guys kind of my thoughts and perspective with how things can unfold from here. Because the way it's looking with Bitcoin, if we have an extended correction inside of Bitcoin, you guys are going to expect to find that it's going to bleed the altcoins profusely in that time. I think it's more likely that the altcoins bleed if Bitcoin has a longer correction from what we're seeing here. I think it's more likely that the altcoins would bleed in that time. And so we're going to take a look at a few different altcoins and show you guys kind of my perspective with what I'm watching out for. First up on the list is going to be Dogecoin. Now, Doge really... Not only Doge, but the entire altcoin market, we're at a very important point that reminds me a lot of 6K Bitcoin, where there was a lot of indecision, where a lot of people believed we were going to go up, a lot of people believed that we were still going to go down, and we ended up making one more lower low, and we sold off from that 6K support. Now, I bring up Doge because it reminds me of that same point in market structure, where we've basically held support. Now, Doge is going to be a little different. Keep in mind, guys, this isn't Bitcoin. This doesn't have hundreds of billions of dollars in the market cap, and so it's not going to look as symmetrical as Bitcoin. These are just altcoins, and so they're more volatile. But you can see here, even though we kept dropping and making lower lows, we can see that we held a relative support zone for the length of this bear market. Now, what the point that I'm covering at right now is the fact that where Doge is at, it reminds me a lot of 6K Bitcoin, where we had this support zone at the descending triangle. We had lower highs all the way through, and then we ended up selling off for one more low, right? And that's kind of the point that I think we're at with altcoins. Altcoins have broken their supports and are free falling right now. Many altcoins are doing this kind of a setup where they've consolidated and held support on a zone for the length of the bear market, only now it appears that they're showing weakness, and now they're going to actually fall from those support zones. And so that's kind of what I'm watching out for with Dogecoin. If we have an extended correction with Bitcoin, I think it's likely that you're going to see another leg down inside of Doge, and not only just Doge, but a lot of the other altcoins as well. And so I really wanted to kind of talk about these things because nobody wants to hear about the possibility or the potential for their altcoins to go down. I know that I recently made a bearish Ripple update, and that one got a little bit of negative feedback because people just do not like to hear about their altcoins going down. And so really, for me to be here, I just wanted to tell you guys about the possibilities that are in play and what I am watching out for right now, because it reminds me a lot of that 6K support zone that we held in Bitcoin, only to sell through that and cause max capitulation. So with that, Doge seems to be appearing to follow Bitcoin's fractal a little bit, to where we're going to sell through and make another lower low. Let's go back to the 6K floor, and I'll show you guys kind of what I'm talking about. We held horizontal support from the initial sell-off for a long time, only to sell through that one last time. And Doge reminds me a lot of like right here. That's kind of what it looks like with Doge. We have our last little bear trap, or bull trap I should say. Even XRP looks the same. So we're about right here before we sell through. Now let's go take a look at Ripple. Now I know I just made an update talking about this, but this is the same thing. Doge and Ripple look exactly the same in my opinion. Yeah, Doge looks a little bit more volatile with more ups and down price action, but overall they're doing the same setup, whereas we've held support at a given zone for a long time. We're now starting to sell through that support and make another lower low. Because right here, this bull trap, and let's drop it off of a log scale. This bull trap right here looks a lot like Dogecoin. And obviously they're going to be following themselves. And so if XRP takes a leg down, Doge is going to take the leg down. A lot of the other altcoins are going to continue to sell off. But just because XRP and Doge appear to be ready to make another drop down, it doesn't necessarily mean that all of the other altcoins are going to follow the same market structure, because not all of them look the same. If we look at Litecoin, we're going to be able to see that Litecoin looks a lot better of a buy. We don't see that I mean, if we were to compare Litecoin to Doge or even Ripple, Doge and Ripple look to be consolidating and holding support clear up here, right? They look to be following a little bit more of a pattern, something like this, before they sell off and make a new low. Whereas some of these other ones like Litecoin, they already made its low. And we've already had the dip buy back, and now we're kind of just waiting to find support from the initial highs of that move. Now, with Litecoin, I'm much more bullish on this setup. I think that it's more likely that this one is going to find support and hold for the next cycle, whereas some of these other altcoins have the potential to kind of fall off a little further. What I'm going to be watching out for with Litecoin is my first target was about $70. It was really 67 right about here. But then my next support level would be about here, about 55. So 55 to 70, I think that we're going to find strong support right around there. And I think it's likely that we will, just because Litecoin, in my opinion, has some of the best fundamental analysis for altcoin, being the halving that just happened. So I think that there's going to be a lot of people buying this dip to hold support. And so really I just want to talk about the differences between market structure that I'm seeing here. I mean, with Ripple and Doge, you have a support zone that looks to be getting ready to fail, make one more leg down, whereas Litecoin, still a little bit more of a sell-off, but it looks like we're heading towards a stronger support. You know, then you have coins like, let's take a look at D.I.Y, for example. D.I.Y, let's drop it to a 3-day time frame. We're going to see that we're at a very, very important part. Now, with D.I.Y, we have broken from all major descending resistance. So that was always a very key indication for me that the trend reversal has changed and we're about to start making more upside. But from our breakout and retest of support, we're kind of just getting brought back down with more resistance, and we're starting to fall from that. Now, it's important because where we're at right now is a very, very important part as far as market structure. What we see here is our horizontal support. If we fail and we break this, really guys, there's not a lot of support until we get back down in like here. Somewhere between like right about there. That's a big drop in these markets, and I quite honestly don't expect it to happen. I would think that we're going to hold support here, but it is a possibility. And if Bitcoin has a prolonged correction, a little bit more extended correction where we drop, 40, 50%, maybe these support levels aren't going to hold in some of the altcoins. And so we are at a very fearful point in the market. A lot of alts are close to breaking their support levels. A lot of alts, such as Stellar Lumens, for example, have broken their support from the lows in December, and we're now selling off from those. I mean, if we take a look at Stellar, this is one that, in my opinion, reminds me the most of Doge and XRP, and I think that they could be following this pattern. And this is what I meant, where we sell off from the tops and the highs, we hold support here, we kind of consolidate, make lower highs, and then finally we fake out and sell off for one more leg down. And so that's what I'm watching out for with Doge. That's what I'm watching out for with XRP. Just to give you guys a pattern to follow is just the Stellar Lumens fractal, where we held support, or the Bitcoin, or the gold, whatever pattern you want to call it. This is what I'm watching out for. Now, it's important to me to show you guys this kind of stuff, even if it's not what you want to hear, because it's very important for somebody to be able to show you something that you might not want to hear, because it's important in the way that you aren't losing money, you aren't missing out, and you aren't timing the market improperly. It's always important to take a look at the bearish perspective, because there's always a right or wrong to every trade. You're not always going to be right. You're going to have times where you miss out and you take some losses, and that's fine, but it's important to be able to understand both sides of the coin so that you can make proper trading plans when the market goes. So what I'm watching out for with these coins right now, with the dominance, is until the dominance has a significant sell-off, you're going to expect to continue to see altcoins drop off. And that's what's happened thus far. Every time we impulse in Bitcoin dominance, altcoins fall off. We're at a pivotal point where we are retesting some resistance zones. If we hold support here, my next target's going to be about 75%. And that's going to bleed a lot of the altcoins profusely. So it's important to be up to date with your trading plans and pay attention for these possibilities that I'm pointing out here. But other than that, guys, even with all of this fear in the market, even if XRP makes another leg down, takes us to my target at about 16 to 20 cents, even if Doge makes another leg down, like, these are going to be big drops. Don't get me wrong. From where Doge is at right now, you're looking at another 50% drop. I mean, same with Ripple. And so even though there is a lot of fear in the market right now, I just wanted to point out the fact that I do believe that the bottom is upon us. And I've been saying that for a while now, and it is my strongest belief that we are close to this. I mean, guys, think about it. If you throw back to Bitcoin at 6K, there was a lot of people that were bullish here. I was bullish here. I won't deny that. And then we sold through that one final time. Now, everybody got so sick of Bitcoin that they were so scared right here that they quit buying it. And you had a great buying opportunity in that time. But where we're at right now is the potential for 6K Bitcoin, where we're going to have one more capitulation event. And I just wanted to point out the fact that now is not the time to get scared out of the market. Even if we have a new low, look at how far down these coins are from all-time high. I don't find it likely that they're going to fall off the face of the earth. I think that this will be the last real capitulation event before we have that major spring event that takes us into new all-time highs. And so don't get too scared out of the market by what it's giving us right now. This is the most important time that you could be looking to accumulate, specifically altcoins. And really, we're going to have to watch and see what Bitcoin is going to give us. Do we have an extended correction in Bitcoin? Do we start to make new highs from here? We're going to have to watch and see. But this is what I wanted to share with you. I wanted to share with you guys the fact that there is a potential for a significant drop in these altcoins. But even if that altcoin drop happens, I wanted to point out the fact that I don't find it likely that altcoins are dead. I think that we're going to find support relatively soon. And with the amount of fear that we're seeing inside the market, now is a great time to be looking to buy. Now, this is really the analysis that I had for you guys. let's go and take a look at one final coin. Now this is Ethereum tied against Bitcoin because this is going to paint the clearest picture. Now if you guys have noticed, if you ever take a look at the altcoin dominance, it's going to look exactly like Ethereum. There's really no difference. It follows Ethereum. Ethereum's the second biggest altcoin, so it's going to follow the fractal of Ethereum. Now I've compared the two cycles between the two because this cycle is no different than this cycle here. And what we're experiencing right now is the final sell-off before the bottom of the market. Now, I have my first support level here, and we're getting very close to hitting that. But there is the potential that this could drop even lower still. Maybe even something down to here. It's not necessarily important to me where it drops and where the exact bottom is. What I'm trying to show you guys is the fact that based off of this cycle and this cycle, we're at the last sell-off phase before we will find that short-term support. And so with the dominance of Bitcoin going really high, really parabolic, we're not seeing very big of retraces. We've been on a tear since all the way back down in here in January. With that recent tear that we've been on, I find it less likely that this is going to continue to sustain. On top of that, you have these altcoins that are in the very, 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 very long corrections that have been over a year and a half now. I don't find it likely that these continue to just fall off the face of the earth forever. It's more likely than not that we are going to see a turnaround in the market. And so with the market being very scary right now, with coins looking like they're dropping off, coins breaking support, making another leg down, don't get shaken out by this. You know, if you have stop losses and a plan set in place, then you are good right now and you really should have no reason to be worrying. But this is a great time to be buying. And so I can't stress this enough, the fact that right now is a fearful time inside of the market. Tons of fear. Everybody's scared. But we also remember what this was like back at 6K Bitcoin, back at capitulation of Bitcoin in December. And so even though things are scary, if Bitcoin has shown us anything with this recent new cycle, it's that during the most points of fear is the greatest time to be buying. So this was the video I had for you guys today, keeping things simple, giving you guys an overall market update, showing you guys a couple perspectives with what I'm seeing with the altcoins. Overall, things are looking good, and you guys should not be shaking yourselves out of the market based off of emotion. Just stick to your plans, trade your plans, and wait for the next cycle high to follow. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for the support. I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.